I'm going to teach you about fragments in Android Studio and how to make apps containing fragments. What's going on? My name is Abbas and welcome to Master Android channel. We will continue the complete Android developer course. If this is your first time and you want to learn Android from zero to hero and you want to make Android apps and Flutter apps, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. What are fragments? In this tutorial, we will describe how to use a fragment class to create scalable and flexible Android applications. So let's start exploring fragments. A fragment is an independent Android component which can be used by an activity. A fragment encapsulates functionality so that it's easier to use within the activities and layout. In next lessons, we are going to see how fragments works and how the life cycle of fragments works. A fragment runs in the context of the activity, but it has its own activity and typically its own user interface. So it is also possible to define fragments without a user interface. Example, headless fragments. Android devices exist in a variety of screen size and density. Fragments simplify their use of the component in different layouts and their logic. So you can build single pane layouts for handset phones and multi-pane layouts for tablet. You can also use fragments that also to support different layouts for landscape and portrait orientation on smartphone. So, as it's possible to dynamically add and remove fragments from an activity, the usage of fragments allow to design very flexible user interfaces. If we see in this figure, we have thing A, B, C, D, E, and F. This is a list and a fragment called list fragment. In the other side, there is a detail fragment that when the user click on the thing C, the thing C details will appear in the detail fragment. Here we have two fragments, the list fragment and the detail fragment. These are you may like see this example in real apps used in tablets. So if you have a tablet and you can download any app that contains this user interface widescreen containing two fragments, one for the list and the second is for detail fragment. The typical example is a list of items in activity. On a tablet, you see the details immediately on the screen, on the same screen, and on the right hand side if you will click on an item. On smartphone, you jump to a new detail screen. Now, the code. You are thinking about how to make a fragment. Let's create our first fragment Android Studio and see how they work. First of all, create your first or new Android project. Second, go to the package folder and create a blank fragment as shown in the figure. Okay, this figure is showing us the first of all the package, create a new. Despite using the Java class, we are going to create a fragment and a fragment blank. In the next screen, name the fragment as you want. I will leave it as default name. Uncheck the two boxes for include fragments factory methods and include for interface callbacks. In this way, we are unchecking this and we will click finish. 6, you will get the following code. This is the following code: a blank fragment class or constructor and the onCreate view. So what are the fragments we will see in next lessons? Life cycles of fragments we have an onCreateView method. So in this method, think of it as an activity onCreate method. This in Fragments, we have onCreateView method that will act as its main method. So the onCreate method, onCreateView method gets a layout inflator, a view group, and a bundle as parameters. The layout or layout inflator is an component which can create a view instance based on layout XML files. As you can see, the example actually does that by calling the layout.inflate. So back to it, we have the layout inflator, the view group, and the bundle. So return the view will be inflator.inflate, and this is the layout of our fragment, the container, and here we are passing in the false for some parameters. The inflate method takes 3 parameters: the ID of the layout, XML file inside the R layout, a parent view group which is the fragments view is to be inserted, and the third boolean telling whether the fragments view as inflated from the layout file should be inserted in the parent view group. So what are these? In this case, we pass false because the view will be attached to the parent view group. Elsewhere, by some of the Android code we call, in other words, behind our backs. So when you pass false as the last parameter to inflate, the parent view group is still used for the layout calculations of the inflated view. So you cannot pass null as parameter view group. Back to it. So this is the false we are talking about. This is a container, and this is the layout for our fragment. The view group parameter of an onCreateView method is a parent view group into which the view of the fragment is to be inserted. This is a view group inside the activity that will host the fragment. So what we are talking about and why we are talking about, because the course is called the Complete Android Developer Course, so you need to pass on front of your screen this and you learn this information. So I can start coding, but you are just receiving the codes without understanding why we are using false, why we are using inflate, why we are passing these parameters. So it's very important, like these lessons, to understand and take notes why we are making this, like why we are passing false, why we are using a view group, why we are using bundle, why we are using onCreateView. These are very important to understand and become a professional Android developer person. And Android developer would be a very smart person to make a professional apps. Now, the bundle parameter of the onCreateView is a bundle into which the fragment can save information just like an activity can. If you have any problem or misunderstand any of the previous concepts, just watch our video tutorials on our channel, Master Android Master App, and download our app called Master Android and Master Android Pro. Don't miss the like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and rate 5 stars on our apps on Play Store, Master Android, Master Android Pro. Now let's explore the XML code of the fragment layout. This is the XML layout. We have a frame layout, it's parent, and the text here is blank text. Now number 8, here's our fragment is displayed to the user. Here we go. This is our fragment. And congrats, developer. We had created our first fragment. You will learn more about fragment in the next example lesson. So let's understand the fragment lifecycle and how they really work. So next lessons would be about fragment lifecycle. Subscribe below, comment, so you don't miss on anything about the next lessons. We are making a very professional course. Subscribe below. You don't need, or you make sure not to miss anything. Thank you guys. We hope you comment, you subscribe, you like. Your like and comment and subscription will push us to make more and more apps, make more tutorials, and make more videos. Thank you guys. See you in next videos.